He conquered India. He burned countless cities to ash. He built an empire on destruction. It was so vast it defied counting. One day, staring at his blood-stained hands, he said, "I have won the conquest, but I have been defeated by myself." The man we are speaking of today was an emperor who shattered his own ego at the very peak of violence, Ashoka the Great. History remembers many conquerors: Alexander, Genghis Khan, Napoleon, but conquerors who choose to stop are almost unheard of. Ashoka stands alone in history, a ruler who rose through violence and then abandoned that violence by his own will. Ashoka was not born a saint. Born around 304 BC as a prince of the Mauryan Empire, he grew up amid brutal struggles for succession. His father, Emperor Bindusara, had nearly 100 sons. Historical records claim that Ashoka removed 99 of them. This is not legend alone. Both the Sri Lankan chronicle Mahavamsa and the Indian text Ashokavadana record this number. After the fratricide, Ashoka ruled through fear. In his capital, Pataliputra, stood a torture chamber later known as Ashoka's Hell. Few, if any, ever left alive. He earned a name that followed him everywhere: Chanda Ashoka, Ashoka the Cruel. His rule was simple: resist, and you die; submit, and you live. Violence was the fastest way to impose order, and Ashoka used it without hesitation. Until then, he never doubted who he was. In 261 BC, Ashoka invaded Kalinga, the last independent kingdom standing in the way of total unification. The war was a decisive victory, but what followed was unprecedented. In Rock Edict XIII, Ashoka recorded, "In the conquest of Kalinga, 100,000 were killed, many more died from other causes, and 150,000 were taken captive." The significance is not the scale of the numbers. It is this: a conqueror officially recorded the cost of his own victory. Most rulers glorify triumph and conceal its price. Ashoka did the opposite. He continued, "After this conquest, I was filled with deep sorrow and regret. Seeing people suffer, die, and be dragged away brought me profound pain. Walking through burned villages and fields of corpses, a question pierced him for the first time. Is this the world I wanted?"
After Kalinga, Ashoka swore never again to wage a war of conquest. He embraced Buddhism and adopted non-violence, ahimsa, and compassion, karuna, as principles of rule. But this was more than religion. Ashoka realized something fundamental. Violence can expand an empire, but it cannot sustain legitimacy. Violence creates submission, not loyalty. So he redesigned power itself, from conquest to protection, from terror to moral law Dhamma, from silence to public record. He attempted something radical: to transform an empire ruled by force into an empire united by norms.
Was it too late? Hundreds of thousands were already dead. The tortured never returned. And yet, this story matters because it asks a question we would rather avoid. Can a human choose a different identity even after committing the worst? Ashoka is the uncomfortable proof that the answer is yes. He could not erase the past, but he refused to repeat it. This is not a story of forgiveness. It is a story of responsibility.
Ashoka was not a saint. He began as a monster. That is why this story is not comfort. It is a warning. How much are you destroying to maintain who you are right now? And the final question: at what point would you be willing to destroy the person you've become? Ashoka broke himself at the peak of power. When that moment comes for you, what will you choose?
Please subscribe and like. It helps a lot.